Welcome to the session on Introduction to Transaction Processing in Database Management Systems. A transaction is a logical unit of work that consists of one or more database operations, like insert, delete, update, executed together. Think of it as an all-or-nothing process. Let's understand the concept of a transaction in a real-world scenario. Imagine you're performing a banking transaction where you transfer money from one account to another. This process involves two main steps. Step 1, debit. Imagine the user wants to transfer $1,000. We start by debiting $1,000 from account A. Step 2, credit. Next, we credit that same $1,000 to account B. If both steps complete successfully, we commit the transaction. This means the changes are saved permanently to the database. But what if one step fails, say, the debit is successful but the credit fails due to a system issue? In such cases, the transaction is rolled back, undoing all changes to ensure the database remains accurate and consistent. So remember, a transaction is an all-or-nothing operation. Either every step succeeds and is committed, or the whole transaction is rolled back. Every transaction must satisfy ACID properties. That is, atomicity, consistency, isolation, and durability. Let's now focus on atomicity. Atomicity guarantees that a transaction is treated as a single, indivisible unit. This means either all operations are executed, or none of them are. It prevents partial updates that could leave the database in an inconsistent state. For example, in a bank transaction that involves money transfer, both debit and credit should happen or none of them should happen at all. Let's revisit our banking example. Account A is sending $1,000 to account B. This involves two steps. Step 1, $1,000 is debited from A's account. Step 2, $1,000 is credited to B's account. Now, account A's balance becomes $5,000 and account B's balance becomes $6,000. Since both steps are completed successfully, the transaction is committed. But what if step 2 fails? Suppose the amount is debited from account A but not credited to account B. Atomicity property ensures that if any step fails, the entire transaction is rolled back. That means the $1,000 debited from account A is undone, and the balance returns to its original value. A's balance is restored to $6,000. Hence, atomicity is the all-or-nothing rule that keeps our data safe and consistent. Next is consistency. Consistency ensures that a transaction transforms the database from one consistent state to another. It ensures that a database remains in a valid state before and after a transaction. For example, the total amount in the two bank accounts involved in a transaction should remain the same before and after the transaction. Before the transaction, account A has $6,000 and account B has $5,000. So the total is $11,000. Now, if the transaction succeeds, $1,000 is debited from account A and credited to account B. Account A now has $5,000 and account B has $6,000, still $11,000 in total. This means the consistency is preserved. On the other hand, if any step of the transaction fails, for example, the credit to B fails, the transaction will not be completed. Instead, the system will roll back all changes made during the transaction. This means any amount debited from account A will be restored, ensuring both accounts return to their original balances. This rollback process helps maintain the consistency of the database. The next property is isolation. Isolation ensures that concurrently executing transactions do not interfere with each other. It means that the intermediate results of a transaction are invisible to other transactions until the transaction is complete. Even if their transactions happen concurrently, should not lead to inconsistent results. The final results should remain consistent, as if the transactions happened one after the other. Let us analyze a scenario without isolation. Account A has a balance of $6,000. Transaction T1 wants to send $1,000 to account B, and at the same time, transaction T2 wants to send $2,000 to account C. Both T1 and T2 read the balance of account A as $6,000 because they are executing at the same time and isolation is not yet enforced. T1 proceeds and deducts $1,000, updating the balance of A to $5,000. T2, however, still believes the balance is $6,000 because it read it before T1 made its change. T2 now deducts $2,000 from its assumed balance of $6,000, leading to a final balance of $4,000 in account A. But actually, if both transactions were processed correctly, the final balance in account A should have been $3,000. So instead of the correct final balance of $3,000, we end up with $4,000. This happens because of a lack of isolation. Here the transactions interfered with each other. And that led to inconsistent data. Hence, isolation is required to prevent interference between concurrent transactions and to ensure accurate and consistent results in the database. The final asset property is durability. Durability ensures that once a transaction is committed, it remains permanently stored, even in the event of a system failure. For example, once a bank transfer is committed, the updated balances are safely stored in the database. Even if a system failure happens right after this, the changes will not be lost. The database ensures the balances remain accurate and updated. Let us now understand the different states of a transaction. A transaction moves through a series of states as it gets executed. The first state is active. This means the transaction is currently in progress. For example, the system is in the middle of updating records. Next is partially committed. At this stage, all operations in the transaction have been completed, but the final result is not yet permanently saved to the database. Once the system successfully saves the changes, the transaction reaches the committed state. This means the changes are now permanent and safe. But not all transactions end successfully. Let's look at what happens when there's a problem. Failed, this state means something went wrong. It could be due to a power failure, a system crash, or a logical error in the transaction. If a transaction fails, it moves to the aborted state. In this state, all changes made by the transaction are rolled back or undone to maintain database integrity. Finally, we have the terminated state. Once a transaction is either committed or aborted, it reaches this final state, meaning it's no longer active. Now let's look at how a transaction progresses through different states using this diagram. Active state. Every transaction starts here. It performs read and write operations as part of its execution. Partially committed state. Once all operations are completed, the transaction moves to this state. But the changes are not yet permanently saved. If the system successfully stores the changes permanently, the transaction enters the committed state. From the committed state, it moves to the terminated state, meaning the transaction is complete and closed. But not all transactions succeed. If something goes wrong while executing, the transaction may move from active to the failed state. Similarly, if the failure happens after reaching the partially committed state but before saving to the database, it also moves to the failed state. From the failed state, a rollback is performed to undo any changes, and the transaction goes into the aborted state. Finally, the aborted transaction also reaches the terminated state, completing its life cycle. Let's quickly recap what we've learned. Atomicity ensures that all steps in a transaction are completed or none at all. Consistency keeps the database valid before and after a transaction. Isolation prevents interference between concurrent transactions. Durability guarantees that once a transaction is committed, it remains saved even in case of a system crash. Together, these properties ensure that databases remain reliable, accurate, and robust. Thank you for watching.